Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Ben Offit on the line, and he's principal over at Offit Advisors. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I'm excited to get into more about what you're doing over at Offit Advisors and what you're doing to strive to become a one-stop shop for financial solutions. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career and in business?
Yeah, so I was an entrepreneurship major at the University of Maryland. I also minored in it as well. So I knew that I wanted to have my own business, and I knew that I wanted to help other people. I knew that I wanted to make a difference in this world. I wasn't sure how that was all going to come together, but that was kind of my objective. And then I graduated at the peak of the recession in 2009. And that was a scary time to graduate because the financial markets were quite down and the economy was very uncertain. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't know what direction I was going to go in, but thankfully, I was recruited out of my my business school at University of Maryland by a large financial services company, and I never had heard of the company. I never had ever imagined that I would go into this line of work, but it kind of fit my criteria that I could help other people, I could be my own boss, that I could build a business, and I just learned about that opportunity, and I went with it, and it was a right choice, a right pick, and I had a lot of success right out the gate. So I stuck with it till now. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. And I always tell people, I'm like, man, if I could go back and pick another major, it would have been entrepreneurship. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have gone through so much pain in my life. I'm like, yeah. I mean, in the financial side, I come from a financial advisor background too, full-time in media now for 3 years. I'm not licensed anymore or anything like that, so completely out of the business. But I had a lot of, those type of mentors and people in the business. So I knew about money, but I can't claim I knew about entrepreneurship. So that being said, when I went by myself and when I started other businesses, it was tough for me. And I'm not saying it's not tough now, but tricky. So you were like the perfect package. You had both sides. You had the theory from the books, and then you also have obviously your own business on the financial side. And by being by working with a big company to cut your teeth in the business, so to speak, you had the benefit of learning from a lot of others and some of their mistakes and also successes. So that being said, then what kind of advice would you give to those new entrepreneurs that are just kind of getting out there with their first business? I'd love to hear your take on that one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's got to be something that you feel passionate about because there's a lot of highs and lows on a daily basis and on a weekly basis and monthly and yearly basis, and so you have to have some passion around it to drive you through that. So for me, my passion, like I said in the beginning, was, to make a difference in this world and do positive work for people. So, regardless of what was going on that day, I felt like if I was doing my best to do that, there was nothing that could get in my way or bring me down or stop me. So I think that that's an important thing to think about, but also, how are you going to be successful? How are you going to make money? How are you going to execute your business? What's your action plan? What's your business plan to make this thing work? Because like you said, there's theory, but then there's execution. So it's one thing to have a theory or a concept. It's another thing to actually drive it to actuality.
And that's awesome. Ben, I want to switch it up a bit. Let's get into what you're doing. Speaking of actuality, let's get into what you're doing now over at Offit Advisors. So first, tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Okay. Well, we're a financial planning company. I think that's really the core of what we do, and we kind of look at everything we do through a financial planning lens. And, as part of financial planning, there's a lot of tentacles that come along with that. There's a lot of subject matter. There's a lot of things that, business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies and families need to have done. So our objective is to try to add as much value as we possibly can to our clients and give them confidence and peace of mind and, help them execute and get things done as they want to get done. So we've got an array of different services, but really, we try to be like a financial quarterback and be like a one-stop shop to help them accomplish their objectives.
Can you talk a little bit more about the importance of having a root in financial planning in terms of how you're investing? And I don't mean the investments per se, like specifics. I mean more the idea of being a financial planning-based firm, because I don't want to assume that all the listeners really understand that nuance and why I feel personally that's so important.
So you're asking, what does it really mean to be a financial planning firm?
Yeah. So what's the reasoning behind it? So meaning, why is that so important for people to make sure they have the financial plan as the root of any investment decisions that are made?
Yeah. Well, I think that's really what people want and really what people need. I think at the end of the day, an investment plan is just part of a financial plan. An investment strategy is, something to help you be better with your finances. It's a way to help you grow money, to have certain objectives accomplished in your life. So the financial plan, I think, supersedes, any investment strategy or anything else, because that's really the core of what people want. It's about being financially healthy. It's about, making sure all of their aspects in their financial life are covered on a regular basis, that they're not missing things, that they're not having holes in their boat that could sink them without realizing it, that they're executing as strategically as possible. So the financial plan is really the overarching theme of everything that they do financially.
No, I love it. And the thing is that I like how you said that's what people want, but we both know that that's not what people always do. So there's a lot of people listening to this right now that have, investment portfolios, but still have not gone through the process of financial planning. I mean, it's one of those things that I feel a lot of people put off, along with their estate plan and all these other things that can really hinder them long term. Especially, when you were in the market, you see what happened. You came in, I think you said 2008, 2009. So you were on the tail end. People that had financial plans going into that had a game plan. It doesn't mean they didn't lose money. It doesn't mean that their accounts weren't down, but it typically means that if they had a solid financial plan, then possibly their risk tolerance matched their investments, which matched their financial plan, which allowed them to weather the storm better.
I agree.
So Ben, let's talk a little bit more about what you're doing so what does that mean when you say that your firm is striving to be a one-stop financial shop? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so, I think that, what clients really want, what our country really needs is sound financial advice. And I think that the way that, our profession has been set up so far has not been set up to really serve, most of society. And I think that's a glaring problem. So I think that everybody really needs a great financial planner and a great financial advisor. I think it's akin to going to the doctor, making sure that you're healthy. And everyone needs to do that on a regular basis to make sure that they're not missing things, that they're being healthy. So I think that our job as a financial planner, a real financial planner, is to really look at people's overall finances, everything they've got going on, as much as possible. If you go to a doctor, they're looking at you from your head to your toe to make sure that everything is as healthy as possible. I think that's our job as financial planners as well. So one-stop shop, what I mean by that is actually a financial planning firm that's really designed to, help people as fully as possible with their financial outcomes. So what we're trying to do is build different services under one roof, where instead of you've got different practitioners that are, in different companies that aren't necessarily communicating, we have an integrated approach where our teammates and our company is working together to serve the client.
That's awesome. And any type of, so if somebody's listening to this and they're thinking about, okay, so Ben obviously knows what he's talking about, been in the business for a while. Any specific niches or types of clients that are a better fit for Offit Advisors?
I would say that our niche, if we had to name one, would be entrepreneurs 30 to 45 years old that have $1 million of revenue for their company and above. But, that's not a hard line. We've got plenty of clients who are just, families or individuals or that are older than 45 or younger than 30 years old. But if you had to look at a sweet spot of our clientele, that would probably be it.
That's awesome. So Ben, if somebody does want to connect and learn more about Offit Advisors, what's the best way for them to do that?
I think the best way would be to go to our website, which is offitadvisors.com, and then just reach out to us that way.
Perfect. Well, hey, Ben, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background in both entrepreneurship and now, of course, your company, Offit Advisors, and how you're helping your clients. So all great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Money Matters Top Tips, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave us some comments on the video. Let us know what you think about financial planning. Love to engage with you on that YouTube video. And Ben, thanks again for coming on the show.
All right. Thanks for having me.